Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is Tuesday, 26th November 2024. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary. Title of today's topic is One Hit Wonders. Now, one hit wonders are wonders where, usually it's there in the music industry where, a group comes out, makes a good single, and after that fizzles out. So yesterday, the question on everybody's mind was it a one-hit wonder? Though the markets went up on Friday, but yesterday was the day when everybody anticipated a big move. But a lot of people might have been disappointed that it was not as big as it was. So the question is, was it a one-hit wonder? So we will try to explore something. So what happened yesterday? Yesterday we had this across the board buying because of the Maharashtra election results, which might have shocked a lot of people, but it did not shock me. So those short covering happened in the initial period and then it stalled. In fact, Nifty made an all-time, not sorry, made a high day's high in the first hour, and then it drifted down. And in the final hour, as expected, because of the MSCI rejig, the stocks, especially led by HDFC Bank, gave a rebound rally in the closing hours, but still it closed off the highs of the day. Whereas Bank Nifty did better. Bank Nifty scored much better than Nifty in terms of percentage also. So that is the it was also the the PSU Bank especially led the rally because the fear of the Adani getting Adani Enterprises, Adani other companies getting into trouble vanished, and because PSU banks had have loaned a lot of the money into Adani Group stocks, group companies. So therefore, there was some fear last week, and that seems to have evaporated, and they have come back to, to the normal trajectory. If you look at technically, PSU Bank index has done well, both crossing 20 and 50 EMA, and the Nifty Energy advanced for second session. Reliance tried to lead it, but unfortunately, a lot of selling came at higher level, and it closed somewhere, off the highs again. Now, in my opinion, considered opinion, please note, I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. My considered opinion, the large cap, among large caps, the cheapest large cap is Reliance because it encompasses across various sectors. For instance, there is this huge talk about people putting money into renewable energy stocks. Wari Energy comes. Wari Renewables is a very popular stock now. It's got, I think, a PE ratio of 80, and people are still buying. Their capacity, I think, is about 14 gigawatt of for solar energy. And lo and behold, you have Reliance, which has already got an installed capacity of 20 gigawatts. And in the next 2 years, they will upgrade it to 100 gigawatts. So Wari is just a pygmy in front of Reliance, the giant. People are not looking at it. People are looking at conventional fuels, which is oil and gas. But I think the future is where Reliance is already there. So there are many such components in Reliance which will make it the cheapest stock. If you take a sum of parts, I think I won't be surprised if Reliance valuation should be higher than, double of what it is today. But this is my personal recommendation, but personal opinion. It is not a recommendation to buy into Reliance. Nifty Auto did not do that well, but still it crossed the 200 DMA. And Nifty FMCG also did quite well. Actually, everything did well. And now on the weekend, we had the US Treasury Secretary being announced, and Mr. Besant is the name. And for people interested in his thoughts, there are a number of interviews on YouTube. I will share some links with my on WhatsApp and Telegram group. It's amazing clarity of mind of the Treasury Secretary. Unlike the current Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, you can never understand what she is saying. Even when she was the head of Fed, we could not understand her actions. But I think Trump has chosen one of the most clear-minded Treasury Secretary. And please note, unlike our finance minister, The Treasury Secretary there dictates a lot of economic policies. Of course, Trump has to agree with them. Sometimes he does not agree and he fires some of the cabinet. But if he holds on to Mr. Besant, then I think lots of things will happen, and he is pro-India in some ways. So that is good news for India. But right now, people are looking at 200 EMA, 20 EMA, that support, that resistance. So they will forget the big picture. If you look at the big picture, the stars are aligning for India. So yesterday, U.S. markets, made records. Dow closed at a record high. S&P also closed higher each, though there was some selling in between, and they also did not close at their highs. Now, Treasury yields fell significantly. That is because there are some peace talks between Israel and Hezbollah, which should happen today. I mean, the announcement should happen today or in a couple of days. So that should help. So oil cooled down, gold came down. Generally, risk assets, against equities, they all came down. And subsequently, after and so there was a Dow Jones was up 1%, S&P was up 0.3%, and the European markets also did well. Commodities, you can observe, oil came down to 72.5, whereas it was about 75.5 just a few days ago. Gold crashed, but crashed would mean what? It is in relative terms. It had gone from 2500, 2540, 2550, it went to 2700, and it's come down to 2618, which is not something great, the fall, but it's a part of the bull market scenario, in my opinion. Silver also did not do too well. There is an interesting comparison here. Where are we today? Are we going to be a one-hit wonder? Like, for instance, I did not talk about it a little more. Actually, we beat Australia in Australia after being beaten in New Zealand by New Zealand in India, which is some sort of a record. So people wonder whether yesterday's winning was a one-hit wonder. And FIS came in and bought yesterday. So was it a one-hit wonder? And US markets went to new highs. Was it a one-hit wonder? So lots of one-hit wonder. And the P stocks, was it a one-hit wonder? I don't think so. I think Australia will now bear the brunt of an excellent bowling attack by India. I also think with the new Treasury Secretary, Mr. Besant, India should do well macro-wise, and FIs might have come through the MSCI reweightage. But at the end of the day, FI money has come, whether it is passive or active, it is a net positive. So that is going to be, I think, something interesting in the days to come. And the FIs, if the smarter guys realize that the current administration is actually beneficial to India, then they will begin to nibble. And the number of large cap companies, I've said before about HDFC Bank, I've said about banks, private sector banks, public sector banks, Reliance I've added, we're adding today. So number of stocks are there, which will lift the index also. So where are we from the Nifty is about 8.5% from the high. Bank Nifty, if you observe, is just only 4.5%, less than 4.3% from the highs. But all of them have gained 4% from the lows, small cap and Nifty mid cap. Actually, the froth is there, the small cap and mid cap. If you look at what are the stocks which people are likely to look at, I think the bank guarantee issue has been sorted out for Vodafone, so that should do well. I think the bottom, in my opinion, again, we don't hold Vodafone, should be somewhere close by. And Bandhan, which we hold, I think we're going to suffer today because of the self-regulatory organization MFIN has tightened the lending process. But I believe under the new management of Bandhan, they should do well. Maybe one more quarter of a problem. HUL and Zomato also should do well. So Swiggy, Adani should continue to do well. Yesterday, government came up with lots of decisions. They have talked of a national mission on natural farming, and they've allotted about 2,500 crores, which is good. Any money which is coming into the system, I think, will ease off this, tightness which we are seeing in spending. So they have also got various schemes: 6,000 for research journal subscription, 2,750 for Atal Innovation, and then they have upgraded the PAN system and so on and so forth. And there is a approval for about 1,750 crores for a hydroelectric project in Arunachal, which may benefit stocks like NHPC. So here is Jefferies on Reliance. They expect a target of 1,700. Compelling risk reward. I think Jefferies understood what Reliance is all about. And so if you do what we call a valuation sum of parts, it should be much, much higher. They have given, the analysts today have given a 757 billion for retail. That is pessimistic in Jeffrey's view. It is also pessimistic in my view. Now, somewhere along the line, the US president put some, yesterday, for instance, put tariffs on additional 10% tariff on Chinese goods and a 25% tariff on all goods from Canada and Mexico. See, the Trump administration is a transactional administration, so they are testing it by telling you that if Canada and Mexico behave, then we'll remove the tariffs. So this is going to be a temporary tariff. In my opinion, Canada and Mexico will fall in line because it will affect their economies. Of course, it will affect the US economy, but it will affect the Canada and Mexico economies much longer, much tighter. So at the end of the day, I think what most people think, it is a one-day wonder. Maybe there will be a correction today, but I think the path of least resistance is up, and this is what I have been consistently saying. I'm not changing just if it falls 200 points or goes up by 200 points. I don't think that is how one should look at it if you're an investor. But if you're a trader, then it's a different thing. Today, I want to resume day trading tentatively with small positions because volatility will prevail now. And these will be obviously on the long side. These will be our typical stocks. And let's see where it goes. But whatever you do, you please, I hope it is successful. And thank you for joining.